Hey everyone, welcome back to Bros Who Know. We should change the name of this podcast to Bros Who Went on Vacation, Bros Producer Who Went on Vacation. Everybody went on vacation. Michelle, nice to have you back. I'm Dr. Jeff LaCure, and once again I am joined by the Darth Vader of podcasts, Richard Yancey. And once again, we got a good one for you. We should charge you for this one. This is how good it is. We're going to show you a video. Bottom line, what we're going to talk to you about is a recent study came out, seems to be verified, that almost 2/3 of all men 18 to 35 either aren't trying to date or are very hesitant or reluctant to date. And today, Rich and I are going to tell you why. So if you're in that demographic, ladies, we're going to tell you why 66% of guys are either reluctant to date, hesitant to date, or have sought out other opportunities. And those other opportunities is why I never shake a dude's hand.
So this thread is on Reddit, and it's called, "Why Are Young Men Giving Up on Dating?" So the first one here says, "To be honest, I'd rather just be a little lonelier than deal with all the hassle of dating. I'm really not in a place emotionally and financially where I can deal with sorting through a bunch of misses to find a missus." That was a common theme I saw throughout the thread as well. I'm sure that a lot of you can attest to feeling that way. It can be very discouraging when you're constantly going on first dates and then none of them are working out. I understand that that's a very discouraging thing. So that was a common theme. The next one says, "Nowadays with dating apps, there's always something new and more exciting just around the corner. So many women I've dated have abruptly broken things off because they found something more exciting. To the point where anytime I dated, it was just constant anxiety day in and day out because I was always living with the thought of, is today the day?"
Rich, what do you think about the video and the fact that we got people saying that they're just not interested even in dating anymore?
Well, it goes back to, if it's not broken, then don't fix it.
Yep.
Right? So, yeah, it's interesting because these women, so what happened is, it's crazy. Throughout history, men always had power.
Yep.
All right? So we have, we have thousands of years of getting to know what power is like and how to live with power. That's innate in our bodies. Women just started having power, and I think they're not used to it. They don't clearly understand what that means. Like men, we have power. We want a nice car so we can get the women. We want money so we can get the women. You know what I mean? Women have power, but men don't care what car a woman drives. Like a woman could drive a Ferrari, we don't care. You know what I mean? If a woman has money, we don't care. So I don't know what their motives are going to be. I know what the men's motives are going to be for having power. That being said, there's always consequences. Whether you do something good or you do something bad, there's consequences.
That's right.
And in this scenario is when women are taking the lead and they're saying, "Listen, he's a creep if he's staring at me. I make the money. I don't need you. I don't. When they have songs out there that,
right.
That's things like, "I don't need you. I can be all by myself."
Yeah. Guess
no
what?
one loves me more
You're
than
by
me.
yourself.
Yeah, no one loves me more than me. That's
Yeah.
another song right
Yeah,
that's
it
out
is.
there. Right? When guys
I'm not
are
shaking her hand either.
What is a guy gonna do?
Right.
If a guy can't, if he thinks that he's gonna come up to you and approach you, and he's going to get rejected out the gate, or not even that, be on on public media saying, basically being laughed at, saying that listen, I'm a creep. What do they think? What the consequences of that? What do they think that was going to happen? What do you think?
It's a great example, Rich, and it's a sad, probably unintended consequence of the Me Too movement. And let me be clear to everybody on behalf of Rich and I. We take very seriously sexual assault, sexual harassment, sexual discrimination. Let me be crystal clear. I can't even believe I have to say it. But because of the cancel culture out there, let me be clear. And I'll just speak personally for myself. There has not been a guy out there who's been a more vocal advocate on ending violence against women. The however is, because of the Me Too movement, there was an unintended side effect, which is now every guy is viewed as suspect. And let's be clear to our viewing audience, Rich. The majority of guys are really good dudes. really good dudes. Are there bad apples out there? Absolutely. Are there dudes who should be locked away? Absolutely. Are there dudes that you and I would pummel if they were doing some stuff like that to our daughters? There's no question about it. But the majority of guys are good guys. But what's happening now, and you hit the nail on the head, is guys are reluctant to go up to somebody, even in a friendly manner, right? Because they're afraid that someone's going to whip out their phone and say, look at this creep guy today, or look who came up to me at Starbucks, not a sponsor, right? That kind of thing. And as you and I had talked about before, you want to kill a guy's reputation, post something about him on social media. What do you think, Rich?
Like I said, it's a weird thing because not only the country's divided, men or women are divided now.
Big time.
You know, and like I said, you can't. There's no such thing as two presidents, right? There's no two chiefs, unfortunately. I'm telling you, this is the way it is. It's what like I said, you can change whatever you want, but Mother Nature is Mother Nature. You can't, you know what I mean? Like, you can't have one without the other. A man needs to feel like a man needs to be proud. He needs to feel like has some sense of power in the home. He has some sense of need.
Yeah.
Some sense of want, and I'm sure women have the same thing.
That's right.
But that's what men thrive. Men, they walk with confidence. They walk with, I got to protect my family.
That's
Now, when a man doesn't have to, when a man's like, well, I can't protect my family because whatever's going on in the media, right? And I can't walk proud because people are gonna think I'm stuck up, and I can't approach anyone because people are gonna think that I'm a creep. Like you just taking away every bit of what a man is.
That's right. It's Rich. It's very much you and I a few months ago. I thought did one of our best podcasts on the death of masculinity.
That's exactly what's going on.
This is exactly what's happening, and again, as we talked about in that podcast, there is a misnomer out there. It's called toxic masculinity. Those two words don't go together. There's people who are assholes, but masculinity, by definition, isn't ever toxic. It's healthy. It's vibrant. It's important. And I did a podcast earlier today about this whole myth of transgenderism, and we got people raising their children gender neutral. Right? So little boys are being raised to be gender neutral. And you know what we know? When you do nonsense like that, their testosterone level goes way down. You and I, if we got our testosterone levels checked today, compared to men in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, the testosterone levels have gone down dramatically. The amount of sperm that healthy sperm that men produce have gone down dramatically. We know there's chemical, the environment and so on. And I'm not discounting that, Rich. But what is happening, we have scientific evidence now that men are no longer being raised to be men.
Right.
Right? And they're losing that sort of, I love how you talk about power. They're losing that sense of self, that sense of confidence. They're losing a role. I love how you talked about the song where a woman says, I don't need anybody. You know what? We all need people.
Something.
But can I highlight one more thing? Here's what's happening now to 2/3 of men in this country in the age range of 18 to 35. They're spending more time alone. They're spending more time on social media and on video games. And they are spending a lot of time viewing pornography. And what researchers are highlighting is those in some are lowering testosterone levels. They're isolating themselves, lowering testosterone level. And as we talked about in the Death of Masculinity podcast, 33% of men 18 to 35 report that their preference is to masturbate to pornography rather than be sexually active with a partner.
I think one of the singers, I forgot what his name was, but one of the singers said that he's just going to porn now. He doesn't even.
Yeah.
I forgot. John Mayer. Is that his name?
Jeez,
John?
I hope it's not John. John wrote a lot of romantic
no,
songs.
I think you got to go check
Do you
it
hear
out.
that right now, Rich?
Yeah, I think
that's a lot of women crying right now.
Right.
They're going, not John Mayer.
We have to fact check that. We have to fact check. So
I'll cry if it's John Mayer. I'll
know.
tell you that right
Listen,
now.
let me
Your
tell you,
body is a wonderland. He's going, apparently my hand is.
So we have evolution going on, right?
We do.
So
we do have a form of evolution.
I don't want to. So this, I don't want to say, tell women, listen, don't try to be strong and don't try to be powerful. What I'm saying is that there's there's consequences to that.
That's right.
So as strong, so when women evolve and they become powerful and stronger, that just means one thing. You can't have one without the other. I mean, men are getting weaker and they're less powerful. Now, all depends on what you want, right? So if you want to come home, if a woman wants to come home and a guy's wearing an apron and he's, he's mopping the floor and all that stuff, and if someone breaks in, he's hiding underneath the bed and you're going downstairs with a revolver to handle the business, it all depends on what you want. You can't have, there's no absolute in this world. There's no such thing as absolute. There's always a flip side to everything. And the flip side of women being powerful is that men are going to be less powerful. And that has, that has a lot of problems that come with it. That has, the father figure is in jeopardy. Men being a strong figure in their families in jeopardy.
Gone.
You know what I mean? Leaders in general are in jeopardy.
Absolutely.
So, we can't, as human beings, we're always trying to rewrite, always trying to change the wheel. You know what I mean? Like, if the wheel works, leave it alone. Like, look, it's okay to make money and be powerful, but then understand that, listen, men need this. Like, men need to feel like they're protecting the family. Like, that's a necessity. That's
We're
like,
born with it.
You take that away, you're gonna just have
Testosterone level.
you might as well have two girls dating at that point. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say, Jeff.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's interesting too, Rich, because the biggest complaint I hear from women in the 20s and 30s and even 40s sometimes is there's no guys out there. Guys aren't coming up to me. Guys aren't reaching out. And I want to say to them, when I first hear that, step one, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, have you made yourself approachable? Right? You and I are in nice relationships, Rich. I'll tell you, if we were single, and don't be mad that I'm about to say what I'm about to say. If Rich and I were single, we wouldn't be single long. Why? Because we have a clue. We have a clue. We're highly desirable guys in a generation where it is really reduced. So we wouldn't be single long. But here's the thing. And Rich and I have talked a lot about this at the gym. We would be very careful, right? You and I have a lot of confidence. We're social people. We come up to people. We'd be a little more, ooh, right? And that's why you're not going to meet two more confident guys than me and Rich. I'm just flat out saying, you can write letters if you disagree. And even Rich and I are going to be somewhat filtered about the approachability. Gone are the days where somebody would go, hey, nice to meet you, and somebody would be very flattered, right? And now people are complaining that no one come up to them. But when they do, there's somebody posting a video of a guy and calling him a creep.
Right.
Right?
So, yeah, Jeff,
and in my industry, I can't be ever called a creep.
no, you can't.
Right? I just said.
You just can't, Jeff.
So I'm not going to be single, Rich. I've decided.
Listen, first of all, we have no control over that, Jeff. I'm telling you, both of us won't have control over that.
That'd be an
yes,
interesting podcast. If we
you
come
said
in
something
single.
that's right. I'm telling you, I believe that you're qualified to date someone.
That's
I believe
it.
I'm qualified to date
That's
someone.
it. That's what we
but
do.
The problem that we have, Jeff, is in this society now, it doesn't make a difference how good you are. It doesn't make a difference how confident I am. We still got to meet people out there that are not confident. We still got to meet people out there that's dealing with life problems. We still, like I said, we have a movement, and we're in a weird era because, like I said,
Very weird.
It takes, for women. I'm telling you, I'm not beating you guys up. Like, I love women, and I want you to be strong, but you have to understand there's consequences. And even though you're doing something good, there's still consequences.
It's out of balance.
And what I'm saying is your power that you have now is new. It's a nuance, and it takes generations after generations after generations to understand that power. It's different from what men are used to. Like like I said, it's a simple equation for men. You make money, you have nice cars, you have a nice house, you're automatically gonna have a beautiful woman, or you're gonna have whatever you think is a beautiful woman is.
That's right.
So that was an easy equation. Now, women, I don't know what your equation is. Like, you make a lot of money, you buy a nice house, you buy a nice car and guys are not going to come. Like, I'm not going to, I don't sit there and say, oh my God, look at that girl in that Ferrari. That's not me.
Because we don't care.
Because we want to, we want to be the man.
That's right.
We're deflated. We go over there and she's in a Ferrari. She doesn't need you.
Yeah,
we
right.
need to be needed.
That's right.
So,
Isn't
so
that
I
a
think,
beautiful statement?
yeah, so we're going to go through this no matter what, because
Yeah.
if the movement's already happened, I'm telling you, evolution's already started.
Oh, it's starting.
It's going to be interesting to see we're not going to be around 4 or 5 generations down the road, right? And see what that led. I'm telling you, so men had an expiration date. Jeff, this is what's going on. Men, because of technology,
That's right.
and because of the evolution of human beings, men had an expiration date. We were at our best when we were cavemen and we were hunting, and we were, the women had babies. Like, we were at our best. Since caveman days, we've been losing the war. And now we're at a pivotal point now where we're not needed now. I'm telling you, women can have babies on their own. Women are singing songs, they don't need men.
Yeah,
They don't, I'm telling you, love, no one loves me more than I love myself.
Isn't
Those
that
are songs.
crazy? It's
And then
crazy.
women are singing songs like, I have a man, but I want you. I'm telling you, you know what I mean? So, men are not, we don't have the power anymore.
Yeah.
So, so we can say what we want. I'm telling you, we might be the last. But that's, the next generation after us, they're going to have a hard time. The generation after that, our 3 generations down, that's it. I'm telling you, guys are just going to have to be like, I don't know.
I don't even know. I think you're spot on, though, Rich, about this evolution and this slow demise of masculinity and manhood. I mean, it's such a beautiful, it's just, it's cool being a dude.
I know, but it's primitive, though.
There is
And
some
that's
primitive
yeah,
to
but that's
it, right?
but that's
There
why
is.
I'm telling you that it's crazy because like as human beings we screw up everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, even in the Bible they said don't eat the apple, and we ate the apple, right? Like we can't
That's
help
why I
but to
like
screw.
oranges now.
Yeah, I know, right? We can't help but to screw up everything.
Yeah, and you know
And
what?
now I'm telling you now. Okay, look, I'm telling you, look. I'm a man, right? When I leave here, like I said, right, I'm gonna have a big smile on my face,
Huge.
and then I'm gonna get cut off,
Yep.
and I'm gonna still have a smile on my face
That's
because I
right.
can't do anything.
That's right.
And then I get to a red light, that person who cut me off is going to yell at me, and I'm going to have a smile on my face after that.
That's it.
Because if I get out the car looking the way I do, I'm getting arrested.
That, all the time.
Right? So, it's just, we're losing, brother.
Well, I tell you, one of the things that I refuse to do is I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, Rich. I'm not going to buy into the bullshit of trying to redefine what masculinity is. The bottom line is masculine, and this has never changed. This has never changed, although it's evolving, which is powerful, strong, confident, sensitive, gracious, excellent father, wonderful caretaker. And what is happening is those roles are being eroded from men. Fatherhood is being minimized in its importance. And here's an irrefutable, right? Bros who know, irrefutable, right? What we're seeing is scientifically now that men are producing, young men, when their testosterone levels are supposed to be jacked, are far lower now than they were in the 60s and 70s, and the amount of healthy sperm that they're producing. And you know why? You're right, Rich, you're on it. It's evolution, which is your body starts to realize, I don't need it.
You don't need it. That's
Right? I don't
exactly
need it. I don't need a high level of, I'm not going up against lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. I don't need the testosterone. That's not needed. And I'll tell you, if we do that, if we take away enough healthy sperm and healthy testosterone, it's the end of human society. It's over.
Well, it's technology's got that covered.
Well, you know what's happening in the techno
Technology,
world,
yeah,
right? We did the
technology's
thing
got
on
it.
AI.
Right. Technology's gonna.
Dudes wanna make out with a robot.
That's what I mean. So technology's gonna handle that. But you're not gonna have the day of the handshake is gonna be gone. The
Yeah.
day that you look someone in the eye and say I'm gonna do something is going to be gone.
It's a shame.
It's like I said, evolution has consequences. Everything has consequences. And I'm not blaming women out there. It's the whole society. You know what I mean? Like the thing is, like I said, you have something that's beautiful, right? And humanity, we change things, right? Think it's for the better, right? And there's consequence. Like I give you an example that's in a nutshell. You have say if you had the mafia in Boston, right? And the police want to get the head mafia guy, right? And they take away the head mafia guy, right? But now it's chaos. Now, random people just getting killed. There's no structure. There's no organization. There's no, you know what I mean? So you think you made it better, but you made it worse. There's always going to be killers out there. There's always going to be thieves out there. There's always good. That's always good. That's a constant. That's part of life.
So unintended consequences,
Exactly.
right? That people think, like Me Too is in spirit, right? If the Me Too movement is about ending violence against women, I'd like to think everyone would be on board with that. The unintended consequence is
Exactly.
you and I as men are instantly suspect for. Matter of fact, I've become even more suspect because I'm a white dude. I love how now my skin color, I must have certain beliefs because I'm a white dude, or the camera makes me look like I'm a white dude, whatever that might be. You know what I've talked about that. It's very interesting. But bottom line, I'm glad you and I do these kinds of podcasts, Rich, because they need to be out there. And I will say, I'm starting to see, and it makes me feel so damn good to say this, I'm starting to see a subtle shift of, holy cow, boy, did we muck this up, right? When we recognize that, and I hate to say it, that men and women are equal, and we're not the same physical strength, there's a lot of differences, but we should all have equal access, equal opportunities, the whole thing, equality, yes. But when we recognize that women serve a very important role that men can't even remotely do, childbirth, and men serve a very important role that women can't duplicate or replicate, but when you try to duplicate it and replicate it, you thought, yay me. But what happened, and I'm seeing a shift back, is a lot of, I'm seeing conservative women and women who would identify as liberal, love that word, identify, going, wait a minute, we need to have real men back again. I don't like this being alone stuff. I don't like a dude that I feel like I can walk all over. I don't like a dude who expects me to hold the door for him. I thought I would like that. No. One of the clips that we embed in here is women are talking about, why don't men pursue me? I want to be pursued. Right?
Can I interject on that?
Absolutely.
Equality. So I think we screwed up with this. I'm telling you, men and women, humanity, there's no such thing as equality. Okay?
It's just
well, it's
life ain't
just
fair.
no such thing. But I'm going to tell you this: men and women, right? When a union gets together, a man and a woman, it's not equal, but it's 100%. Okay? So when you're 100% with someone, right? It's never equal. What happens is that if you're good at something, right, or if you're doing something, it might be 60% that day. And then I might put 40% in there, and that's 100%. One day I might put 20%, you put 80%, then we're 100%. One day you might put only 20%, and I put 80%, and we're 100%. I think we got to talk about, like, we're 100%. Like, we're, both of us make each other, what our weaknesses and our strengths are, we make together we're 100%.
That's right.
Saying that we're equal is impossible. Because equal means this. In order to make anything equal, you have to add to or take away from.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So
and that's what happened.
Yeah. So if you're adding to yourself, you're automatically taking away from me.
That's right.
That's when you make things equal. You cannot make things equal. Equal is this.
That's right.
Okay?
And it doesn't exist.
And if I'm here, you have to take away from me to be.
That's right.
But if we're 100%,
right,
we could be like this as long as we're 100%. We could be like this as long as we're 100%. I think we have to change. I think we have to change our definition of.
Can I prove your point?
Yes.
You and I will never be good moms, ever, ever.
Right.
But we're damn good dads.
Right.
Right.
I'm telling you, you could play a role as a mom, but you're never going to be as good.
No, because we're not moms. So it's not.
Yeah,
it's not equal.
And the child, no matter how you look at it, the child has different feelings for mom and dad.
That's right.
They have different expectations of a mom and dad.
That's right.
So what I'm saying to you
is,
what I'm saying to you, Jeff, is that it's too late. Okay, evolution. No, listen. Evolution already has taken place.
Yeah,
and usually, what happens with evolution is that, or when things change, they never go back to its original form. So as time's changing, You know, we're just upset, and we're trying to hold on, and we're trying to like slow it down. But like I said, 3 generations from now, the new type of man, it's probably not going to be a man anymore.
I just wonder if he's going
They're
to
going to change. I guess they're already changing. Like, what was the terminology you used? A man said he was neutral, gender neutral.
Yeah.
It just might be gender neutral. We might just be asexual creatures.
Boy, that'll be a real fun place to be, won't it? Boy, thank God you and I will be long gone.
There's no place for the old ideology of man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's almost.
Well, you know what? Thank God we keep putting out these podcasts, because you know what we do? We celebrate masculinity, don't we?
We do, but I'm talking about, look,
Right.
I had like I said, I'm gonna bring this real quick. It's a quick story. I have a friend that has a son, and the mother works out, and she's stronger than the son.
Yeah.
And so I said to the son, I'm like, listen, aren't you like a little bit worried? You know, your mother's strong to you. Like, are you embarrassed by that? He's like, no, I just want abs. I don't care if she's stronger than me.
I just want to have.
But see but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if I was younger and my mother was stronger than me, I would be at the gym every single day.
That's right.
You know, but that's old school mentality.
That's right. That's right.
You know, so I don't know, Jeff. So
He's going to have good abs, but a low sperm count and low testosterone. Enjoy those abs.
Right.
Billy,
There's a lot of
Susan,
things. There's a
whatever
lot
your
of things
name is.
changing. I'm telling you, we were born in a crazy era. There's a lot of things changing right before our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And the momentum is so strong that I don't know how you're going to stop it.
Well, we're going to keep doing podcasts like this because we are not joining the bash men movement that is out there. It has been out there for a long time. Bash them, bash them, bash them. Can you imagine, actually, Rich, if there was a bash woman movement out there? Like if the stuff that gets said about men was actually said about women, people would lose their mind.
Wemen have the power now, Jeff. That's what I'm saying. Like we have to. I think the podcast should be how are we going to get over knowing that women are going to have the power, are going to have the power. I think that's where it's going, Jeff. I'm telling you, we're powerless. I'm telling you, if a woman says right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were talking to me. If a woman right now said that Jeff kicked my door
Mm-hmm.
and ran off. You'll get arrested. I have to prove to you that you were on this set with
That's
me.
right. That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Because that's how much power they have. If you said, if a woman was sitting there and you called the police, like, this woman kicked my door in,
Mm-hmm.
nothing would happen to her.
That's right.
But if she said that Jeff just came and kicked my door in and he grabbed me by the throat, you're getting arrested. And then we have to prove that you were here.
You want to hear the stat of the day?
What's that?
Irrefutably authentic.
What's that?
Statistically speaking, I'm sorry, viewers, you know I go scientific from time to time. Women actually hit men more than men hit women. I'm not advocating or supporting either.
Of course, yeah.
But it is still culturally okay, right? For a
Right.
woman to hit a man, smack
Because
a
she's
man,
emotional.
punch a man.
That's what, yeah. We can't have emotion.
And again, if we're going to go down a road of empowerment, no one should be getting hit and no one should be hitting. But you want to talk about emasculating a man? A woman will report if she's hit, as she should. Very few men report. They don't go to the police or go to the ER and go, my wife just beat me up again, right? Because of the stereotypes that go with it.
Right. No,
But bottom line, and I'm going to say it to the camera, Rich, because Rich has been really eloquent talking about women in power, and I'm gonna put the exclamation point on Richie's observation. What a lot of women in power are finding is it's very lonely. It's very lonely, and so you can pretend that you like having all the power without a partner. You could pretend that you like being the one in authority to make the decisions, but what you are finding, and women have found this out for centuries, you can't have it all. You can't have it all. You got to make a decision. And guess what, ladies? I'm going to say it. You need men. And guess what, guys? We need women. Speaking of which, can I throw this out quick?
Yes.
Some dude out in East Hampton, Massachusetts, was about to be given a contract to be the next superintendent of the East Hampton Public Schools. And he wrote a letter to the school committee, and the school committee was all women. And you know what he wrote on his letter? Like accepting the position?
What's that?
Dear ladies, And a couple of the women on the thing lost their mind and said, we're not hiring this guy, and he got fired.
Wow.
Why? Because he said, dear ladies.
Yeah.
Holy shit,
Women
Rich.
have, yeah.
Wow,
women
we
have-
can't even a lady.
Right.
Look, I just referred to myself as a dude. I mean, do I just always have to be referred to as Mr. and Sir? Your point is well taken, Rich, that a lot of women in power don't know how to handle it.
No.
If it were a female superintendent and I was on the school board and she wrote, dear guys, dear fellas,
Right.
I'm not going, we can't hire her.
Right. Well, again, that's what I was trying to. That's the point that I'm making.
Yeah.
The point that I'm making is that we've been in power for so long, right?
Yeah.
For centuries and centuries and centuries, that this is like second nature for us.
That's right.
This is newfound power for women.
Yes.
And not that it's bad. I'm happy for you. Listen, may the best man win or woman win. But what happens is, there's a learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
There's a learning curve. Like when that woman makes, $5 million a year. She sits there and she's like, I made $5 million. The family gives her a hug. Everyone's happy. But yeah, she's alone.
She's alone.
Because most guys, they don't want to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I'm happy for you. But I don't want to deal with that. Most guys, we drive by Dunkin' Donuts. We like the Dunkin' Donuts girl. So, you know what I mean?
I've
So,
seen
yeah, I know. So, and they're seeing, and they don't understand. They're like, well, how can I have all this money? This is all I ever want to do.
That's right.
And when they drive in the sports car, it's not the same as
That's
when
right.
a
See,
man
there's a
drives
consequence.
in the sports
There's
car.
a consequence.
When a man drives in the sports car, he's sitting there like, I'm the man.
That's
Like,
right.
you know what I mean? I am the man. This
That's
is
what
the
my
best
license
thing ever
plate
happened.
says.
Yeah. When a woman drives in sports, she can say I'm the woman, but no guys care.
That's right.
Like, we don't care.
Well, you know what? We'll drive right by you.
Right, we don't care. We'll say nice car.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think they're learning that now. And like I said, not to take away from strong women because that's
See,
just
ultimately, I think what you and I are both saying, Rich, is it doesn't have to be either or. You can have strong women and strong men coexist, but don't try to take away the others.
we're not equal. That's why I
We're
said
not
once,
equal.
once you say we're equal, then you
We're
just
not
take,
equal.
now you don't understand what you're doing. You're taking away from now.
There are things
see-
that my fiancée Abby is better at than I am.
Oh, absolutely.
Flat out. You've seen her leg press.
She's strong.
Right?
She's strong.
Right? We're not equal. And
No,
it's
we're not
okay
equal.
to say it.
Right.
But to be truthful now is seen as somewhat as discriminatory. What we all have to understand is that there is a distinct and important role for men, and there's a distinct and important role for women, and sometimes they sort of interconnect, right?
Right.
But when it gets to be either or, game
Well, it's
over.
and it's going that direction because, like I said, technology is even out the field. With technology now, like I said, women, you don't need to be strong anymore. So if a human being doesn't need to be strong, men are out. Especially with this new AI, or making decision-making
Crazy.
stuff.
Crazy.
Pretty soon, you don't even need to make decisions. AI is going to make decisions for
That's
you,
right.
right?
Put it in the computer, let it run.
Right. So now mentally strong is out. So now, what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm telling sooner or later, like, I'm telling you, what will a man's role be? That's the biggest question. What will a man's role be 5 generations from now?
Write in, comment on what you think a
Yeah.
man's role should be.
Because right now, I'm telling you, it's just, like I said, it's the young kids, they're lost. And if you see a lot of, I want to find out how many boys versus girls, young, are more depressed.
Are more?
I think boys are.
It's a hidden epidemic, Rich. It is.
I think
It
boys
is.
are.
And you know what?
If I was to
We-
guess.
This will be a different podcast, so we'll give you a taste of it. We clearly used to treat women and girls frequently, generations ago, as second-class citizens. There's no question about it. It's irrefutable, right? That's what we do. And what we did as a society was instead of empowering both boys and girls, we started to disempower boys, right? And so that girls now started to feel more empowered. And when we do a podcast on it, that's actually the roots of why there is the slow death of masculinity. Instead of empowering both men and women, we said, we got to do this. But you hit the nail on the head. You said, in order to do this, someone's got to go down. And it didn't need to happen, but that's what our society did.
Well, like
right?
I said, if you don't put percentages, I'm telling, we should say that we're 100%.
Yep.
Once you say we're equal, you're already putting one of us down.
I love that one.
So-
That's we're equal, right?
I know that's crazy. So, not to end this off, but I want to interject one thing. Look, I love women. I think women should be as powerful as they want to be.
Yep.
But I think they should keep in mind that it's not once they get to the top,
Mm-hmm.
it's not what you think it's going to be like.
It's different. There's a lot of
It's gonna be-
responsibility
it's gonna be a lot
comes
of
with
difference,
it.
yeah.
And it's very lonely.
Right. And the difference and the biggest difference is this.
Mm-hmm.
In order for women to really understand, I feel like we're complaining because we had it good for so long and now we're complaining, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what women have to understand that it's not just a man's problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we are defeated,
It's over.
then women don't. They can't rely on. What are
It's
you going
over.
to rely?
It's over.
I would think. I don't know. And you can answer the question like someone put in. Do women want a man that they can trust and rely on?
Yes.
Or lean on and
Yes.
know that he's a rock, because
They do.
if they can't believe in themselves,
Mhm.
then they're no use to you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's right. And we have a generation now of depressed males, men who are lacking in character and confidence. And you know why? Because they were no longer taught that it was important, and as you've been saying this entire podcast, that character and confidence is needed. It's one of the things that helps make us men. Hey, I'll tell you, folks, Rich and I are going to continue to come to you weekly, unless Michelle goes on vacation. No more vacations, Michelle. We're going to get her on camera one day, too, because I know a lot of people are like, all right, who is this Michelle? Michelle's our awesome producer. She's got an intern in with her today, so if we had any technical issues, we're not
Blame
holding
him.
Michelle accountable. We're holding her
blaming him.
intern accountable. Welcome aboard, intern. Welcome to Bros Who Know. I'm Dr. Jeff LaCure. We're thrilled to be back here June 1st with you. We'll see you again next week with another exciting, informative podcast. Until then, we're out.